guys, it's Alanna here, and this week on 7 Day Madness, we are doing a back to school week. So for my back to school week, I would just like to talk about how it was like going back to school when I was in 7th grade. When I went to 7th grade. And honestly, I was so scared. Because, I knew 8th graders, and they were telling me, it's not that bad, it's all good. But it was actually really scary at first. When I first came to that school in 6th grade, when we were taking a tour, because we did that. Jesus, I love when I almost ruined my stuff, but okay. So we did tours and stuff, and it was really scary because it was all new. My school. Gotta fix that camera. Okay. But the school I go to is pretty big. It's not the biggest school I've ever seen, but it's it's a decent sized school. And so in our school, there are arrows that you have to follow. So there is the B Hall, and the B Hall has arrows, so you have to follow those arrows or else you will get in trouble. And knowing me, sometimes, don't call me criminal for this, but I wouldn't follow the arrows sometimes, because sometimes I would be late to class if I followed the arrows, and I'm not about that being late in life. But one hall that saved my life, the C Hall, had no arrows, and I was like, thank you, Jesus, for having no arrows, because it's a lifesaver. But then that hall, it was a little crazy though, because you have all these people going different directions, but it worked better than having to follow the arrows in one straight line and people walking like turtles in front of you. And I was late to Lane charts twice because of that. But anyway, I got a little sidetracked. But so when we did our tour, it was really scary to learn we have to follow those arrows every single day, or else we would get in trouble by our security guard, whose name is Miss Tony. Miss Tony's actually pretty chill though, and I've never gotten in trouble for that, but she's cool. And the first day of school I was excited because, I had some friends. I just had my friends again from school, and I would see other people I knew who were older. But it was really scary at the same time. In the school, there's this sort of stage area that is in front of the lunch benches, and then there's the lines. There's the place where you get your food for lunch, and they had our first periods on the thing. So you had your lunch number, your lunch number and student ID, and it had the name, and I don't think they had the name. They had your first period teacher and what you were gonna do. And I had got my schedule the day we went to orientation. Was just another sort of tour kind of thing. You got to know your web leaders, which were on Wednesdays. We used to go to things called web. Well, we didn't go to web. We were in 8th period, and every other week of the month, so 2 times a month on Wednesday, in our 8th period, we would have our web leaders come into our classroom, and we would do activities and stuff. And it was cool sometimes, but mostly boring, and I was just like, but try to go with it. But anyway, so we met our web leaders, and we had to hang out with people in our web group and stuff. So it was actually pretty cool. But so back to the first day of school, I already knew I was gonna have PE first period with a teacher named Mr. Hauser. He's a pretty cool teacher. He's a cool dude and stuff. But anyways, the first day of school was very scary, and I was late to 5th period because lunches are confusing in our school. So there's first lunch and second lunch. But when I asked my 3rd period math teacher what lunch I was having, because it didn't show my teacher who I was having for the teacher said just something. It said no vacancy, meaning there was no teacher there, but there was. His name was Mr. Jones, but at the time they didn't know that. Well, my math teacher didn't know that, so she gave me the wrong information, and I thought I had first lunch, but turns out I had second lunch. And so I went to first lunch for a little bit, and then I was like, this doesn't feel right. I think I should be in my class, because I was a little bit confused. So I asked one of the new maids there, well, not really new, but she was kind of monitoring the commons at school. So I asked her, and I was like, do you know when this class starts or where this is? And she was like, she called somebody on her walkie-talkie or whatever, and then I found out I was supposed to be in an art class. I'm really terrible at drawing, but I was supposed to be in art class. So I showed up to art class 10 minutes late, and it was really embarrassing. But at that time, we didn't even have like an actual art teacher though. She was, but she was a substitute though. But then we got a while after, like a month or two after, we got an actual art teacher who has a degree in art to teach her class, and she's pretty cool. And I enjoyed art for the rest of the year. It was pretty cool. And I met one of my best friends there. Shout out to Alyssa if you're watching this. But anyway, continuing on with the story, the rest of the time was pretty cool. In choir, I think we did like something where you had to like have a singing buddy or whatever, and then you had to like ask them questions, and then you wrote down on the paper. It was like just a series of like a survey sort of, and then at the end of class, or the next day I think, we read our things out loud, and we had to like, he would call on us as partners, and then we would read it about each other, and it was really weird. But I mean, my singing partner ended up moving out of the class, but you know, it's all good anyway. And then I skipped also a bunch of things, but second period, oh lord, I really hated that class. It was language arts, and it's not like that I don't like language arts, because I got an A+ in language arts. I think A+, because I got a 4.0 at school, but I didn't like the teacher. Like she was a nice person, like don't get me wrong, she was hella cool, but her teaching style just wasn't interesting. So it was really easy to lose interest in what she was talking about each day. But I managed to make it through with an A. So what can I complain about anymore? I guess my math teacher, I loved her so much. She was literally one of the best teachers I've ever had. She was pretty cool. By pretty cool, I mean hella cool. She was doing the whip and nay. She was damn Danieling, and I was like, wow, get it. But her class was always fun. It was always a good time. And we had subs, you know, normally when you have to substitute, you're like, yes, our teacher doesn't have to be there. But for her, it was different. Like when you had a substitute, like, oh, your teacher's not here anymore for the day. But anyway, she was hella cool. And in fourth period, my history, that's not four. Fourth period, my teacher, she was literally the queen of roasting. She roasted the living hell out of some of our students at our school. Like, they would just get roasted, but thankfully I never got roasted, because you know, I just wasn't about that being disruptive in class life. But some kids were not as fortunate. But anyways, I talked about 6th period, but 7th period I had science, and most of the time science was good because we got to watch Bill Nye the Science Guy. And I love Bill Nye so much. But it was always good because we got to watch Bill Nye a lot, and she was a cool teacher. One time she whipped in class, and the whole class went completely crazy, and it was great. And I ended up with a 99, my 99.0 in that class, so A+. But I think that is the end of my experience of going into 7th grade. I could talk about most of the year, but everything was mostly the same. I mean, running in PE is the worst thing in the whole world, and I can't wait to do it again this year. Obviously not, but I got by PE with an A also. Yeah, running was just miserable. We got to play softball, which is my favorite sport. But it wasn't actual softball though. We didn't even get to slide or anything. But now I'm just rambling, so I'm just gonna end it here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and good luck going back to school. I will see you guys next time. Bye!